Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Nirmanon, officially doing a post commentary for you guys today. We're going to be discussing just some main topics. I selected two, and then if you guys watched the last video, which I highly recommend because it'll make a little bit more sense to why I'm doing this as this segmented way. But in the last video, I talked about game types and the score streaks of Black Ops 2 and how they've been implemented and how they've changed the game in a drastic way compared to previous titles. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely give that a look. All you have to do is click up on the number of videos I've made, and bam, select the last video. It's pretty easy. But with that in mind, guys, we're going to move on to the next, I guess, part of this conversation. So I'm going to be discussing today the guns and the overall map design of what Tryarch has constructed for us today, or in this title. So we'll start with the guns because I figured that'll be a little bit more interesting, and your guys' input will be able to be implemented as well as mine, obviously, what you're going to be hearing. So, I would say that the weapons in Black Ops 2, like, appearance-wise, I wasn't too impressed. I found a lot of them to be too futuristic, more like, I don't know, just different games. I would say Crisis, but, I kind of saw that coming already. I feel like they're a mashup of just different games, and they were kind of panicking to get weapons constructed. I do realize that Black Ops 2 is a futuristic kind of arcade shooter, so, obviously, you're not going to be able to implement, like, realistic sort of guns. You can kind of implement some of the standardized appearances of what you think they're going to look like, but overall you're not really going to get that real feeling, that real action movie look to it, that kind of unfinished design that, what they try to go for, at least I think in this game. And a lot of the guns don't really look too, like, realistic, like a Battlefield gun or something like that. And they're not supposed to, that's not the point. But I think for appearance-wise, the only one I was really impressed with, and it's still not even a good gun, is the M27. And it's an alright gun. It definitely doesn't do a ton of damage. Its rate of fire is pretty average. It's kind of like that medium gun, the one that, it's good for medium and long range, but in close range, you're going to just get absolutely annihilated, even if you drop shot, get the jump, anything like that, because Black Ops 2 is all about rate of fire and damage per second. And definitely, it's huge about what you kind of place into your character and what you have for your specifications and all that kind of stuff. So definitely look into that if you're definitely struggling, I would say. Struggling is probably a pretty good key note on that because the game is definitely a little bit different compared to a lot of titles on the market today. So for the damage and attachments and stuff of that stature, definitely I think the damage, is pretty much king to the submachine guns because they have a high rate of fire, and as I've stated before, your rate of fire basically determines if you win or lose a gun battle. I do realize locking on the target and accuracy is huge and important, but I still think that your rate of fire in close to medium range is going to mean way more than your ability to pepper the trigger doing long range accuracy kind of scenarios. Considering that a submachine gun is most effective in its, medium to close range stature or area of, effectiveness. But the assault rifles, considering that I haven't played all the maps, or I've played them all, but I don't really play them. Like, I haven't really, dissected myself into them and been like, man, this map's really good for this, it kind of does this really well, stuff like that. I wouldn't be able to place my overall opinion about the assault rifles, but I imagine from the ones I have played that the assault rifles are pretty good if you play them in their key notes, their key area of effectiveness. And, it's kind of a balancement thing. A lot of people want to bitch about the shotguns being overpowered. I think that they're just complaining if you play Nuketown, then they're really good. Are they overpowered? No. No, they're not even close. They have no range. They're just not the best guns in the game. Now, for snipers, I think sniping's a little too easy. I think there needs to be a patch release that makes it a little bit more difficult because, let's be honest, and completely be honest here, guys, it's really easy. Literally, it's like Modern Warfare 3 on steroids. Literally, all you have to do is ADS, and it's an instant bullet straight. There's no sway, there's no nothing. And I think it's too easy. I think that's why we see too many snipers that are like, hey, I can do this. I'm a Zerg Riz now. I can run around, do 360s and stuff like that. And it gets to this point where I'm just like, oh my goodness, I just want to go back to Battlefield. I'd rather deal with those snipers that sit on rocks and camp. Because, they're a lot easier to get rid of. Because, you can shoot them with an M16 across the map and they die. In this game, just the auto aim for the snipers, it's insane. It's like, it's just awful. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but we're not going to talk about rant stuff in this video. I'm going to hold that off for a different video someday. With that in mind, guys, definitely I would say the appearances, not what I thought they were going to be. Damage, I think it's good, but the rate of fire determines your win. For the attachments, I'm really impressed by the amount of sights, the amount of optics and stuff, or optics, the amount of like specializations and stuff like that for your weapon. If you want to have more damage over range, you can definitely go with that. If you want to have more rate of fire, stuff like that. If you want to decrease the amount of recoil you get for vertical, you can definitely do that as well. And I think that it was a good idea to spread up the perks from like sleight of hand and quick draw and stuff like that into their own little different, attachments instead of making it, pretty standard what everyone's going to use. Let's be honest, Modern Warfare 3 was pretty obvious going into the game. You knew exactly what people were going to use, and you knew exactly, what you were going to use as well. So it was like, hey, you and me meet in the middle, first one to drop shot wins. And, that's just how it goes. But in this game, I figured that a lot of people are experimenting. I'm sure there's an OP setup just waiting to be found. I'm sure somebody's found it and they're using it as of now. But definitely, the horizon is looking interesting, I would say. I think there's a lot on the horizon for this game, and hopefully that they'll get to patching it appropriately and fix the things that are really broken about the game, and worry about things that, I will bitch about here in a month. So, with that in mind, the camos in Black Ops 2, I am really impressed. They didn't go with the stupid red tiger, blue tiger, crap like that. They put gold back in, and I think gold should be in. It rewards you for using a gun for X amount of time. It rewards you for getting headshots, playing the game in different ways, using no perks or with perks with no attachments. I mean, I think it was a great idea to do it that way. And somebody on Machinima I watched one of their videos, and I usually don't watch their stuff anymore because it's all crap anymore. It's these annoying little kids, but whatever. I mean, you gotta give them props for getting that far in life. But definitely, I would say this guy was complaining, saying that the ability to get gold camo is super easy, and I don't think he's realized that he hasn't used the other guns in the game. He's just been using the sniper rifles, which is not on the same comparison level as using a submachine gun or assault rifle due to the challenges are significantly different compared to each other. Shotguns are probably the easiest. I'm going to be completely honest, I have the gold Remington 870, and it's amazing. But, that's just my opinion, I guess. If he found it really easy or really hard or whatever, depending on the person, that's perception, I guess. That's a part of life. So, I was really impressed by the amount of camos. I'm glad they changed it up. They added new stuff in. I'm glad the elite members, at least day one, at least you can actually put a camo on your weapon instead of, being like, yep, gotta use this blank thing forever. So, really cool design things. I like how you can put your emblem and your clan tag back on your gun. Really cool feature that was implemented through Black Ops. So guys, now that we have about 2 minutes, we're going to talk about, basically the, maps. Are the maps good? Is that something you're asking? Maybe you want to know my opinion. Hopefully I'll be able to, provide you with that. I would say 90% of the maps suck. Now you're like, why do they suck? Well, I don't like them for a variety of reasons. I think some of them are just too big. I don't think they fit too well, and I think they cater way too much to snipers that want to camp. And you guys know what I'm talking about. The guys that sit in the back of the map, trying to hardscope the living bejesus out of the bomb sites, that's aggravating, no matter how you look at it. But I think Nuketown's a good map. There are still a few out there that are really good. Unfortunately, I don't know the names of them, but it all depends on the game type you play. If you play the wrong game type, that map literally sucks. If you play the right one for it, the one that actually makes a lot of sense, the sites, the spawn systems are really well designed, then it's really good. And I think Black Ops 2 did an amazing job with the color wheel. I mean, they use so many colors, it's not just gray with some brown. It's every color. There's so much beautiful colors in the game, and I really got to give them props for that. I think the color correction and the lens flare is a really cool thing to add into the game as well. But we're running out of time, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next installment. I have really cool ideas coming up for Black Ops 2 videos, and hopefully you guys will enjoy. But this is Nerd Mode On, signing off.